Hello and welcome to Graceful Connections, presented by Academy for the Soul. I'm your host, Sophie Bidar, and the co-creator of Graceful Connections, together with Christel Hughes, founder of Academy for the Soul, the online school for intuitive arts. Graceful Connections is an adventure of exploration, discovery, healing, liberation, growth, and truthful expression, which is facilitated, amplified, magnified, and blessed really with grace. Because all of our gatherings are held in the orb of grace, which is what brings forth these graceful connections. They are woven between you and our expert speakers, your graceful guides into the new dimensional earth. Graceful connections woven between you and their talents, their wisdom, their expertise. Between your questions and their inspired answers, your needs and their masterful responses. But also between various aspects of you that may be or feel, for whatever reason, disconnected, fragmented, separated. Allow grace to infuse these areas and aspects and connections, to elevate them to a higher vibration and bring harmony, catalyzation, realignment into a higher order, a natural order, the divine order. The order of grace is the divine order. So let's begin. I invite you to relax, take a few deep breaths, breathing out all that does not belong to this moment. Let's bring all of your attention, all of your presence here and now. We set our intention that our time together, all that is shared in words and beyond the words, all the energies that we call in and flow serve our highest good, our evolution, and be of service to the highest good of all. You can decide to open your heart or open it even more and be ready to receive. And you can decide to open your mind or open it even more and be ready to receive. Remembering your connection to the center, to the heart of the earth. And your connection to the center, to the heart of the universe. So that you are held, both grounded and suspended. You are safe. You can relax. You are ready and open to receive. Now I'm calling an orb of grace from the heart of the universe. And placing this orb of grace around our group, our gathering, each and every one of us. That we be held in the orb of grace and infused with grace all along our time together. Let's take a moment to adjust to the purity and the subtle high frequency of grace. Allowing it to gracefully dissolve, realign, harmonize, amplify, magnify all that needs to be so. In purest alignment with divine will and the divine order of grace. And breathe. Beautiful. Now, within the Orb of Grace, I am delighted to welcome our expert speaker, the wonderful and vibrant Siobhan Wilcox, who brings her tremendous expertise about color and color therapy to heal and transform your life. Siobhan, yes,
Thank you,
welcome,
Sophie.
Siobhan. Let me share a few words about Siobhan, introducing you, introducing her to you and you to her. Siobhan is originally from Ireland and now lives in California. Remembering she could heal at the age of 6 opened pathways for her to bring harmony and healing to many since then. Siobhan has supported thousands around the world with her home and soul healing sessions, including color and vibrational healings for the chronically ill, releasing trapped souls, clearing energy fields, home healing, feng shui, and soul memory discovery. Siobhan studied color and vibrational medicine in the 90s and graduated top in her class, holding accreditations from the London College of Complementary Medicine and the International Academy of Color Therapists. Siobhan is a sought-after expert in the realm of healing arts, color therapy, stress reduction, and feng shui. She has appeared on TV, radio, and print media, both in Europe and the USA. So wonderful to have you with us today, Siobhan. Welcome.
Thank you, honey. Oh, Sophie, it's wonderful to be here. I was lost inside your orb of grace there. I was like, my eyes were closed. I was like, oh my God, this is so delicious.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us there. Thank you
Yeah.
for your presence. And
Yeah.
so everyone, we are in for a treat today. Siobhan is going to share her expertise about color, and will also lead everyone to discover your rainbow connection with a guided visualization to connect with color, specifically the one you need the most at this time.
Yeah.
And
I'm
also
excited.
on Friday, May the 26th, we'll gather again with Siobhan for an intuitive readings galore live call. Siobhan will answer your question. Is there any color that is out of alignment with me now?
I think we're doing it May 19th, Sophie.
May 19th, of course. Thank you, Siobhan. I was
Yeah.
just testing. Are you following me? May 19th. Thank
I'm
you.
following.
Thank you so much. So let's come back to the moment. Yes.
Well,
And now,
I'm so
mhm.
excited to be here. And this graceful conversation, this graceful connection really aligns with the truth of who I am, because my name means with God's grace, or God is gracious. And it was like the frequency I came into the planet with. And people think it's a Sanskrit name or a spiritual name, but it was what my mom gave me when I was born. And it really has been a piece of my life to hold grace in everything I do. I used to actually have a community called Parenting Autism with Grace, because I wrote a book for the autism community a long time ago. So, and inside of that, I included color therapy as part of that book.
Yes, and I must say you're the dream guest to open this series of graceful connections, right? With
Seriously. I know,
no,
when you
your name, your
invited me, I
vibration.
was like, oh, this couldn't be more perfect.
Absolutely. Grace is showing up already, like with this
Yeah,
synchronicity,
I
right?
know, I know.
So thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. And for, well, it amps up already. I can feel it in my head, in my body. It amps up. This knowing really magnifies the grace, makes it even more palpable, I would say.
Yeah, I
So
know.
thank you.
It's perfect. It's perfect to be here, honey. I'm so excited. My passion about color, it was one of the first modalities of healing that I really engaged with many years ago. Before, I think I was, let me think, I was 21, and my girlfriend said to me, let's go to this healing arts fair in Dublin. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm not quite sure. I've never been to a healing arts fair before. So next minute we're at this healing arts fair, and there's this whole stand of color therapists, and I get in and I'm engaging with them, and they say, oh, come to our talk. So there's maybe 100, 200 people in the room. It's a big venue. And they say, can we get a volunteer, please? And I'm at the back of the room. And next minute, I know I'm on the stage. Now, I have no idea how I got from the back of the room to the stage. Even my friend was like, how'd she do that? Where'd she go? But there I was on the stage, and I'm looking out at these hundreds of people going, oh, how'd I get up here? And they started to talk about color therapy, and they did color healing on me on the stage. And I was like, oh, this is something. I could feel it through my whole body. I was really engaged with it. I went to the stand and I said, how do I study? I really want to study this. And they said, you have to go to England to study this. And that was a complicated situation. You know, you had to fly or it was going to be very expensive at 21 to kind of try and figure that out. So I said, oh, I'll try and read everything I can on color therapy. And I was always so in love with the concept of studying it. And when I was around 25, I met this woman who said, well, actually, I've gone to England and studied color therapy, and I'm about to start a training here in Ireland. So I was like, yes. Everything I was setting myself up for and I've been reading about and passionate about and already connecting with the colors and playing with them all the time. And there she was. And it was a 3-year program. It was supposed to be a year-long program, but then there was so much involved in it that it just kept stretching itself out and out and out, you know. And yeah, it was one of those programs I didn't want to finish. I could have just kept going forever in, you know, the conversation of frequency and vibration and color, because when you go into the concept of color therapy, you go into the world of frequency and vibration. And so it's not just about the color, but it's about what that application of color does to your body, your energy field, your mental body, your emotional body. So it's not just, oh, it's a nice color.
Right.
How that color influences where you're at in a vibrational frequency, and how it helps to recalibrate your energy and rebalance everything that is going on for you. So it's so simple, right? Because we can easily apply color in our lives, whether it's the colors we wear or the colors of our towels at home or a cushion, you know.
Right.
It's simple. It's not that expensive to apply color into our world. And that's why I think it's also so effective for people. You know, when I do feng shui with people, I also help them pick out their colors and their elements in their homes. And sometimes I help them shop for their furniture and all of these other pieces. And I always say to people, when we want to consider color, you don't need to go and buy a sofa that color or a chair or do big expensive things. You can buy a cushion or a blanket or a towel or something, right? So
that's good to know. That's good to know already in itself, right? And we don't have to repaint the whole room either.
No, not at all. Not at all. And sometimes that's actually really not a good thing to do, right? Because our needs change.
Yeah.
So as we evolve and our frequency changes, and we're in an evolutionary path, the needs we have shift and move around. And so something that was in service to us a year ago, because we decided I'm going to paint my room, is no longer in service to us, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is why I say make it simple. Do small things like cushions and little
Oh,
throws, and then we can move and shift energy around so simply in our environment to service our frequency and our vibration and help our energy levels continue to evolve and align and go upwards.
all right. Good to know already. Now, can you give us a bit of background? Maybe I suppose that there's a long history of the use of color, a long history of healing with color. Are there some important milestones or
Yeah.
periods of time or anything about it that you want to share with us
Oh,
about?
yes, for sure. I mean, it goes back into recorded, some of it is mythology, where we go into the time of the Atlantean healing temples. For those that have memory of that, I have memory of it, being in these huge crystalline pyramids where we would use light rays to bring healing through people's bodies as they lay down to heal. And we would literally run light through crystals and lasers and then use it to heal the body. So most people that have memory of that time on the planet have memory of similar things. I've spoken to other healers and people that have written about it in books, and we have the same memories, right? It's like it was a very simple way, but very powerful way of healing at that time. So then if we go into more the time that was the Middle Ages, right? Color was used to almost at some level control. So it has been used in the past to control people. So if you think about it, in the Middle Ages, people used dye from nature. They used leaves and flowers, and most of the colors at that time were browns and greens in the clothing, right? Because that's what we had in our nature around us. So the royals and the people that were very affluent and the people that even in the churches, all different religions, they used color as a way of making people see them as higher level than they were on the ground. So they used, turquoise used to come from these shells that had to come from Turkey, very rare. And so that color was really auspicious if you had turquoise. Reds, really deep reds, were hard to create. And they were also used a lot in affluence, in the royal clothing, as the same with purples, right? These are colors that were really hard to make because they had to come out of nature, and they had to be created in a way that was like, it took a long time to make these dyes and these fabrics, and to weave silk. That was not like an easy process. They had silkworms, and then they get a tiny bit of silk, and then they'd have to, weave the silk. And so like these fabrics that held the color and the frequency and the vibration were only affordable by those that had a lot of money.
Right.
And so in a sense, it was used not necessarily negatively, but it was used to show affluence and wealth. And at times it was used to control the masses. They also used color therapy by putting it into stained glass windows so that the light will come through and inspire people to feel good. And so temples used it, sacred sites used it, and it was to make those sitting there feel really good about being there. It up-leveled them. It helped them feel inspired. They felt, sometimes they didn't even know why they were feeling inspired, right? But they were like getting color therapy while they were sitting there in the rays of these beautiful glass windows, right? And the colors and all of that coming through onto their bodies was just like inspiring and uplifting them. And so, you know, that's kind of the history of the origins of color and where it started to be used. And people started to realize that it was essential to the well-being of humans to give them color, to inspire them with color. And particularly in parts of the world, like, well, I'm from Ireland, right? And so it's very damp and wet and dark winters. So when you went to the church and there was beautiful stained glass windows, and the altar, behind the altar was these beautiful windows that would just radiate color onto you. I remember it even as a child, sitting there going, oh my God, that is gorgeous. And the blues and the purples and the greens all coming down all over you. Like, I have that memory, right? Before I even realized the significance of that, right? And you know, that's one thing that when we look at sunshine and sunlight, it has the full rays of color spectrum in it. Like, it has the rainbow colors, what we see when light comes through a prism and breaks it down, right? Well, if we look at a lot of the lighting that's in our commercial buildings, those fluorescent lightings, they're very high in yellows, but they're very low in blues. Right? And so because of that, in actually some countries, particularly I've heard in Germany, they don't put fluorescent tubing into their hospitals and their medical clinics because they've shown that when fluorescent lighting we're sitting under it for long periods of time, it actually can make us feel more depressed because we're missing the blues and the greens, which bring more balance into our bodies. And we've got this high level of yellow, which initially can activate us and make us feel energized. But if you're under that the whole time, it actually starts to create an adrenaline response in the body. So I had this client one time, she was like, when I started talking about this in a workshop I was giving, she goes, oh my God. She goes, no wonder. And she said, I have put on 15 pounds in weight since I moved office where I had a window to where I didn't have a window.
And beyond this artificial light, yes?
Yeah. She said, I'm just under fluorescent lighting. So now she's like overeating. Her body's trying to compensate for the adrenaline. She said, I was feeling tired all the time. Right? So that's one thing I say to my clients. And I was just talking to a woman the other day about this that's been inside of a very dark winter. And she said, I don't know what's after happening to me. I feel so depressed. And she'd moved from a really sunny place. I said, well, I know what's after happening to you. You're missing the daylight rays, right? Because when that light comes through our eyes, it rebalances our neurology. It brings balance to the chemicals in our brain and the endocrine system, and it helps us have a whole different experience. So if people are listening and watching this and they're thinking, how could I do one thing to help myself? Go and buy yourself a small little sunlight. You can get them on Amazon. And they're small, but they give you not like it's obviously artificial sunlight, but they have the full spectrum ray,
Right.
right?
Right.
So they don't have that yellow and they don't have that incandescent bulb. They have this full spectrum. If
Right.
you ever, before we had our iPhones with all of our different ways that we could say, okay, I'm going to go studio light, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. You know, that's changed. But in the olden days, when you
Mhm.
have a camera and your film and you were indoors, everything would be yellow, right? Because
Right.
we're under light bulbs, everything would be yellow. Or
Right.
if you were in the daylight, sometimes you're standing very close to the window, you'd see that things would be so much more blue, right? That's
Mhm.
just showing you the quality of the light. And so
Right.
when you're indoors under the incandescent light bulbs, there's a lot more yellow in there, particularly if it's fluorescent. You don't have that full spectrum range that you get in natural daylight. And that starts to really impact the physical, the emotional, the mental body. And to
Right.
the point where in Germany, they won't put fluorescent bulbs into the medical hospitals because they found it creates depression, it reduces the ability for the body to heal, it creates an adrenal response in the body. So they've tested this through taking blood work from people
Mhm.
and seeing the cortisol levels in the blood work when they're inside. They put them outside for a few days for a certain amount of time. They check the cortisol level. Then they take the same group of people, they put them indoors under fluorescent lights for the same amount of time, and they check their cortisol levels. And the cortisol levels go way up when they're under the fluorescent lighting.
Mhm.
Right?
Okay, so I'm making a note. We need to get as much natural light as possible, and we can correct with what you just mentioned with these um, lamps that
Yeah.
offer the full spectrum,
Yes.
right?
They're so
So,
simple. I mean,
mhm,
when I was in Ireland, my gosh, because it's dark, right? I used to have, and I've been doing this a long, long time. You know, I'm 53 now. I started studying color therapy when I was 25. So I used to have this huge big light box like this. And I would put lighting gels on it because I had a light therapy clinic and a color healing clinic. So I would have people come and they would sit in the natural daylight, and then I would heal them through putting different color frequencies on if they needed specific colors. And I would shine the light through those like lighting gels that I would stick over the light. And so people would have miraculous experiences and feel amazing. Well, because they're in Ireland and they weren't getting daylight and they were so happy. They were like, I'm so happy. And so, what I used to do personally is, particularly if you're in a dark part of the world, and you can do this by setting up a timer on one of these little lights in your bedroom, and you set it up as you wake up, whatever time that is. And so it lifts your endorphins in your body. So you wake to that natural sunlight, even if it's raining outside and there's no sun, and your whole body starts instantly sending endorphins. And it's a super way to wake your body up so that it feels, it's energizing. It helps to lift depression so fast when people are feeling really depressed. When you do this, and then if you don't have to sit with this light all day, that can actually overstimulate you, right? But when I used to work at my computer in Ireland, I would have the light under the desk. So it was not right in my eyes because it's intense. I just have it close by me for like 2 or 3 hours. You wouldn't even have to do it all. Like you could do it an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. You don't want to do it going to bed, right? Because again, you're getting the melatonin levels in your body correctly balanced, right?
right.
So if you do it too close to going to bed, you're going to kick that balance out. So morning time, early afternoon, but not towards the evening, is the perfect way to get that really good sleep and rebalance the chemicals in the body, so that the melatonin levels, which are what's called our sleep hormone in our body, that's essential for recalibrating the body, and that goes off when we are in this very dark time of like winter time, or we're in a part of the world that doesn't have a lot of sunshine. It throws that melatonin levels out of sync in the body.
Right. Yeah. So we want to correct that, right?
You really do. It's very helpful to correct that. And we want to try, when we look at a color, right, we want to try and get the full range and spectrum of color. So even when we eat food, right, we look at our plate, we want to try and make it as colorful as possible. That color, it's food for the eyes, it's food for the body, right? But also we have a range of nutrition and minerals and vitamins that are all in that food when it has all different colors. Right. And so getting a full spectrum of color in our food is essential too.
So we need to eat all the colors.
We need to eat all the
if
colors.
possible, at every meal. Now, what may trick us, not only for the food, but for how we use color in general, how we surround ourselves or wear colors, is what may trick us is that we all have our favorite colors or color, right? Which, well, may get us into maybe overdoing one color. So it may, that's why I say it may end up tricking us. But can you talk about the significance of our favorite colors and what is important about this?
Usually when we have favorite colors, they're colors we really need. Right now, there are occasions where those colors are too much for us. Like if we already are, if we look at Ayurveda, I don't know if you know about Ayurveda. It's because I've studied yoga and extensively. So if we look at Ayurveda, the different doshas and the different personality types. So if you're a Pitta person, which is a very fast, fire-based person, wearing lots of reds is not necessarily what you need, right? It's an active, you're activating what is already there in naturally, and it can overactivate it, right? And sometimes we're attracted to that. You know, a lot of people who are Pitta go for hot yoga, right? And fast hot yoga, when actually
because it's familiar, right? It's close to the
exactly, and that's not necessarily the best thing for their nervous system or their physical body. They may feel good, but really they need to bring more vata in, more kind of yin yoga, more gentle movements, you know. So
to balance a red, what would you bring, for example?
Well, the complementaries, if we look at the fast moving in the rainbow, we've got our reds, our oranges, our yellows. There are stimulating colors, right? There are energizing colors. There are fast moving colors. Now, if we look at green, it's our balancing color. It's our heart space, right? It's also associated with pink. So green and pink have a very similar frequency and vibration. If we look then at our cooler colors, we have our sky blues, our indigo blues, our violet colors. And I also, because it's we're in this Aquarian age, the turquoise color is a really popular color right now, and a really good color for us for evolution. So if you are a high type A personality, if you are finding you're overstressed, you're feeling stretched out, your nervous system is a bit rattly, right? Then bringing in your greens, your turquoises, your sky blues are very calming for the nervous system. But on the other side of that, if you're feeling quite depressed, if your energy is very low, if you've been very exhausted and you feel dulled, like you're not stimulated, then bringing in those faster colors. Even the magenta color is a good one, because magenta takes the red of speed and brings in the purple, right, of spiritual evolution. You put them together into magenta and you've got a beautiful color to inspire you and lift you out of a depressed state. So magenta is a color that a lot of spiritual teachers are attracted to. You don't need a lot of it because it's a very powerful color, right? So I always say to my clients, when I'm looking even at their homes and their environments, if you're trying to develop a passionate relationship with the beloved, and maybe there's been some issues in the connection with intimacy, if you have a lot of blue in your bedroom, it's going to create a disconnect. Because blue, even though it's great to sleep in, too much of it in the environment can create lack of passion.
Too
Right?
much cooling, right?
Cooling, yeah.
Much cooling.
Yeah. Right? But at the same time, you want to bring balance where you can sleep. So you might want to bring in purples that have some of that red in there for more passion. And when you want to bring passion in, you don't want to like paint the whole room purple, right? But you might just want to bring a beautiful blanket of purple, right? That you can like even change out if it doesn't feel like it's right. I did a great experiment when I was studying color therapy. I bought every color of sheet possible, and then I would sleep in that sheet for a whole week. And I would observe how my body responded.
Wow.
Right?
That must have been, yeah.
I would be like, oh, I like orange. You can tell. But do not sleep in orange.
Good to know. Yeah.
I love red. And oh my God, did it make passion? It was good. But I don't think I slept very well.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I used myself as a personal experiment when I studied color, right? I went really deep into it. And because it was such a long program, I got to play with it excessively and really get to deeply understand it. And red is a color that is so, it almost has a polarized sense, because some people find it really off-putting. And they feel overstimulated by it, and almost like they have a repulsion to it, right? They pull away from it, particularly if it's a lot. And if we think of red, as just to take it as an example, because it does have that kind of, oh my God, like people usually really love it or they really hate it, right? It has two sides to it, right? It has this red light district, this whole underbelly energy, little seedy, which is usually why people pull away from it, right? But then it also has this whole other side to it where it's used by the royals, and it's used in churches, and it's used to elevate, and that it's used to get attention, and it's seen to be like very confident building. So I was working one time with a company, and I was doing a presentation on color therapy for them, and I started talking about red, and that if you wanted to be really stand out in the boardroom, because we were talking about presentations and color, I said, but you don't want to necessarily turn up in a red, because people might see it as overly aggressive, right?
Right.
You could wear red underwear and have it
Mm.
for you, and
Mhm.
know that it's bringing that power into your space, right? Like, I'm here, I'm turning up, look at me, I'm all
Right.
sassy, but you're not
Yeah.
overly aggressive.
Mhm. I
Um,
love I love the flexibility that you bring in how we can use colors, that through elements that we show or don't show, or elements that we can bring in or remove or change. And it seems to be really, yeah, a very wise, very wise way of using colors, that us who don't know so much, we might, well, splash the whole room or dress up in red or do, well, I know I can be a bit on the extreme side. So that's why it's so precious to have someone like you who brings the expertise and ways, refined and subtle ways of bringing colors to support us and to our benefit. Now, you have created, Siobhan, a wonderful offering, and I understand from hearing you already that it's all about balance, right? Color is all about balance, and so your wonderful offering is perfectly named Rebalance Your Life with Color Therapy. And I believe that at this point, we'd love to hear all about it. So for everyone to follow, you can check on academyforthesoul.com/GFC1/Siobhan. That's academyforthesoul.com/GFC1 for Graceful Connections 1. It's the first season. /Siobhan, SIOBHAN. You have the link in the comments of the video, so just click there and go directly to the page. Siobhan, will you please reveal what you have created for our audience?
yes, for sure. Well, I've got two different offerings, and I'm really excited about them. The one that I'm going to do is a private session where people get to sit with me on Zoom. And before I get to sit with them, what I'm going to do is analyze their name and the colors that they are turning up on the planet with when they were given their name. And so you can tell a lot about the colors you need in your life based on the colors that are actually showing up in your frequency through your name and your vibration on the planet. And so we'll talk about that in the session. I'll do the analysis before we get into session, and then we'll talk about that in the session. And then I'll do an energy reading of your energy field, and we'll talk about what is really needed at this time for you to bring balance in to your space. I'm going to do my prescriptions will be different for everybody. So they may be an application of how to apply a color into your life for you to use it in a specific way for a specific amount of time to get a specific outcome. So that's, each one of those will be unique. Every session I've done for the last 25 years, always different. They're never the same, because each person is different, right?
Of course.
Yes. So I'm really, really excited to sit in that space. And then you'll get an audio recording as well of the session, so that you can listen back to it and understand in case you miss some of the subtleties. You'll receive that, so you have that then ongoing. So that's my big offering. And then I'm also running a workshop. So when you buy, I think is it option 1 that includes the 2 of them?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So
with the session, the workshop is included as well.
Exactly.
That's right.
And then we're going to do a workshop, and the workshop is going to be over Zoom, and we will be spending like almost 3 hours together. Originally I saw 2.5 hours, but then I'm like, we always get so much fun that we don't want to leave each other.
Playing with colors, right?
And we're falling in love with each other too, you know, and I do
Yeah.
breakout rooms and people just get to deeply connect with each other. And so, you know, that workshop is going to be fun. We're going to explore color. We're going to get intimate with each of our interaction with the different colors, because everybody has a different experience of what a color does for them. And so I really, in that workshop, want people to understand, yes, the, you know, blues do this and greens do this and blah, 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 do this, but it's more to do with our personal experience with that color.
Right.
And then to get that sense and have that witnessed and feel that in your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, to get to write and journal about it. That's why I've made it longer. And I'm going to get everybody to bring crayons and some paper. I'm going to teach you some exercises and ways that you can use color ongoing to really help you. And I'm going to teach people how to use, you know, there's different ways of applying color through glass that you can actually energize water to become a frequency that then you can consume into the body. So I'm going to teach people all about how to
drink the color,
drink
right?
color. Yeah.
I love
I'm
that.
going to teach you how to use it, when to use it, how to store it, whether it's going to, you know, the different colors are, they require different treatments.
Okay.
So we're just going to talk through all of this stuff in the workshop and just get a really big overview. I mean, I studied color for 3 years. There's a lot to learn about color. But we're going to have 3 hours to play and really dive into your personal relationship with color. So then after that, you know how to use it for yourself ongoing in your life.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much. So to wrap it up, there is the full package with the private session, rebalance your life with color therapy. You have Siobhan as your expert right there for you, giving you your indications, from starting from your name and the colors you brought with you at your birth. That's your private session. With the private session, you get also the workshop, or you can go for the workshop. Specifically, the workshop is weaving a higher vibration for well-being using the magic of color. And we can hear just from having, we're just having the beginning of a conversation together, Siobhan, and we can hear and sense that there's so much you bring. And you are so generous with your time, generous with your sharings, generous with your pricing as well, because both of these options, so either the full package with the private session and the workshop, or the workshop itself, are very generously priced and with a 2 payment plan as well. So thank you for creating this amazing offering and really making all your knowledge, expertise, skills, all your practice, all your mastery of color, you're bringing, I'm sensing like you're condensing all of it into a pearl, and you're offering this pearl to us, and we can have it, we can use it, we can also eat it, drink it. Thank you for making this, condensed version of your mastery, making it available to us through this package, this offering, Rebalance Your Life with Color Therapy. So again, everyone, I invite you to check this out and join Siobhan. You have all the details on academyforthesoul.com/GFC1/Siobhan. You have the link in the comments of the video. Thank you, Siobhan. Now, I think
Sophie, honey.
we'd love to have an experience with you. I'd love to talk with you for hours, but you're going to do that, not only talk, but play as well during the workshop and also in the private conversation with the private session. But can you offer an experience to the audience right now?
Yes, I'd love to.
Thank
I'd love
you.
to. I'm going to invite those that can at this moment in time to find themselves a place where they can relax and rest. Ideally, close their eyes if that feels comfortable for them to do so. If you're not in a place where that is appropriate right now, know that you can come back later and just note the time on the video at this point, and then just come back to the video at this point, and then just use this as a way of relaxing and having a healing experience. And so I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to invite you to become really aware of your presence in this very moment in time. When you're listening to something, sometimes you're in your mind, you're calculating, you're thinking. I'm going to get you and invite you to come back down into the body right now. So I'm going to get you to become aware of your feet connected to wherever they're connected, hopefully to the earth. Maybe you're lying down, that's fine. But I want you to really sense that you can deeply connect to Mother Earth beneath you, supporting you. She is the provider of all the colors we need through the beautiful food that we eat, through the beautiful light, the sunshine. Everything is provided by Mother Earth, Gaia. Oh, that beautiful bandwidth of color. So just be in a moment of gratitude for Mother Earth, for what she is offering and providing. And just take a few deep breaths in that space of gratitude, in that space of honoring. And then once you're in that space and you're breathing and softening and melting and letting go, feel that wonderful wave now, a wave of relaxation starting to just flow through the body. Coming up through Mother Earth, through the soles of your feet, receiving from her. Bringing that energy of life force and at the same time, now start to bring that connection to source energy, unconditional love, flowing in through the crown of your head, coming down into the body from an unending source of infinite possibility, infinite love, unconditional source. And feel these two beautiful energies merging, flowing, filling you up completely. So your body is softly melting, releasing, and letting go. And notice any areas in your body that need extra attention or care at this time. And then now, in your mind's eye, in your imagination, from this place of deep relaxation and body awareness, I want you to imagine high above you a beautiful rainbow of colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That full spectrum of colors. See it glistening and vibrating, glowing. Imagine now as you look at these beautiful colors, it begins to come closer and closer and closer to you. And invite it to become whatever it is you need at this time for your best and highest good. You're aware of the colors that are vibrating for you, for your best and highest good at this time. The colors that you need most right now to bring balance and harmony and healing and higher vibration. Know that your body knows what it wants and needs, as does your mental body, your emotional body, your soul body, physical body. See what colors want to start to engage with you at this time. Where do these colors want to engage? Maybe they're going into your energy field around your body. Maybe they're finding part inside your body that needs rebalancing at this time. Or maybe you're just perfectly aligned to look at these colors in your mind's eye and your imagination without them needing to go anywhere but through your mind watching them. Have no attachment to the outcome. It is all perfect. And just notice where these colors are moving, how you wish to respond and interact with them. And thank these beautiful colors, this beautiful rainbow, for its healing power, for its magic, for its harmony, for its balance. You see it moving away from you now, back up into the sky. Notice how you're feeling at this very moment in time. Notice how the body is feeling, how the mind is, how the emotions are. Notice if there's any message you're receiving at this moment in time for spirit. do you need to engage deeper with color? Do you need to heal deeper with color? Do you need to understand color at a deeper level? Be aware of the colors that really wanted to engage with you. Be so grateful at this time for this simple yet so powerful healing modality. If it's appropriate, bring your hands to your heart space, locking in that gratitude at this moment in time. Wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes. Bring your awareness back to the breath as it enters the body. Grateful, mindful, aware of your physical body now, supported by the chair, wherever you are in time and space. Be aware of your breath as it enters the body. Be aware of wherever your hands are touching. Be aware of where your feet are touching, grounding you, balancing you, bringing you fully here and now, connecting you to Mother Earth. When you're ready, wriggle those fingers again, wriggle those toes, and bring yourself back, slowly, carefully opening the eyes.
Thank you. Wow, coming back. Thank you so much. Thank you for this discovery of our rainbow connection. Thank you, Siobhan. That was very profound. And I must say, as you started, I realized how the grace of color is that color is everywhere, right? And it is a healing modality that is, it's everywhere. Now, I hear you that it's up to us to balance, and we need to keep an eye on the balance of colors, and you are our guide in doing this. What I found through this experience, that it was just so profound for me. You bring such a depth to the experience of the color and colors, and to the connection with it. So thank you so much. You bring the grace by your being, as you said at the beginning, right? So the grace of color combined with the grace of Siobhan, that's really the winning combination, and so magical. Thank you so much. I really love this experience. I'm sure everybody did as well. This is something we can return to and do more exploration, but even more explorations we're going to do with rebalance your life with color therapy, spending even deeper time with you, Siobhan, in the private session as well as in the workshop. Again, when you purchase the private session, you get the workshop as well, 3 hours with Siobhan, weaving a higher vibration for well-being using the magic of color. We have just touched to the magic of color. We have just barely scratched it. I can feel that there's such an immensity of magic that you are ready to bring, right? And it wants to come through. So thank you for holding it for us and making it available to us. academyforthesoul.com/GFC1 Siobhan. Again, you have the link in the video description. And we meet again with Siobhan on Friday, May the 19th. We're gonna this time have Siobhan for Intuitive Readings Galore, a live call in which she will answer your question, is there any color that is out of alignment with me right now? So make sure to join us at this occasion. And if you cannot attend the live call on Friday, make sure to request your intuitive reading in advance, and then you'll catch up with the replay to receive Siobhan's insight and wisdom. Again, for this as well, you have the link in the video description. Siobhan, I'd love to spend the whole day with you, but I know you have you have other things on your schedule, right? But you have again created this sacred space and time for us to join you in the workshop and in the private session. Now, for now, is there any word of closing that you would like to offer?
We've activated something today. You know, when you bring something into your awareness that was always there, but it wasn't in your awareness, it starts to interact differently with you. So start to just note, you know, what is it that is calling out to you from the world of color? You'll start to have a different relationship with color after listening to this and after doing the meditation. And it's a natural way to heal. It's a simple, apparently simple way to heal. Yet it is incredibly magical. So allow that magic to start opening so you can receive it and interact with it and start to create that deeper relationship. It's going to want to talk to you. So just be open.
Yes, thank you. Definitely activated. Something huge has been activated today. So thank you for bringing this. Thank you, Siobhan, for bringing the simplicity. As you said, it is simple. It is and it is not simple, but I love how you make it simple. And I love that you bring the magic of it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Now, let's take a moment to be present once again to the orb of grace, allowing it to remain there, to hold us for as long as it serves our highest good, our evolution, and the highest good of all.
So it is.
And I'm closing now, yes. Closing now by giving gratitude to each and every one of you in the audience. Thank you for answering yes to the calling of grace and the calling of color today. Absolutely. Gratitude to you, delightful Siobhan Wilcox, for all the wisdom, the brilliance, the magic, and the offerings that you have gifted us today through all the graceful connections that have been woven with you and with your masterful expertise.
Thank you, Sophie.
Gratitude.
To be here.
It is our pleasure to welcome you. Thank you, Siobhan. We want to give gratitude, of course, to Christel Hughes and the Academy for the Soul for offering this platform in which graceful connections grow and expand, impacting our lives, our environment, and the world at large. Gratitude to the Orb of Grace for providing a safe, sacred space for this journey of exploration we're engaging on. Gratitude for all the grace that we are blessed with at every moment, whether we're aware of it or not, offering all the nourishment, the nurturing, the healing, the revelations, the realizations we open our hearts to receiving all along this journey. Gratitude to our higher selves and all the beings, the higher beings that guide, support, and protect us, and gratitude to the divine. Thank you. Thank you again, beautiful, wonderful, vibrant Siobhan. Until we meet again, many graceful blessings to you all. Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.